I used to roll backwoods, Rick the Dawn's good wherever he goes. 1 million and one flows, depositing dough. Said you down with the mafia family, let me know. Yeah, number one, I don't do number two. They watching how I do, because I'm really hood. Red hoodie, gold jewelry, too groovy, might lose me. Don't approach with the foolery, keep the two on me, homie. You don't know me, Rick the Dawn, the one and only. Yeah. Yo, what's going on? It's your main man, Rick the Dawn. You already know what time it is. Welcome to the Really Hood podcast. And for this episode, we will be talking about black people, or the condition of black people in America. Before I do that, this episode is brought to you by Limits to Mercy. My album just dropped on January 7th. It is a classic. It is a beautiful album. It is a diamond. I'm telling you, it's the best album I've ever heard, with the exception of maybe 5 albums. If I had to put it on my all-time list, I'm serious, it's like number 6, 7, or 8 on my all-time rap list, and that's including the greatest names out there. You can find Limits to Mercy at rickthedawn.com right now. It's $20. Support my movement. Moving on. Back in the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, the 10s, 50s, some of the 60s, our biggest concern with regards to our enemy, or a enemy, was the Ku Klux Klan. Evil guys, evil white guys trying to terrorize black folks. And yes, they still exist today, but not in the exact same way. They seem to be more of a movement, more so than a terrorist group, but I'm not here to discuss that, because we have a new threat to the black people in America, and it is not the white man. Before I get into that, let me drive a few black people crazy by giving a few roses to these awesome white folks who have made an amazing adjustment. If you consider their history, right? If you consider the white man and woman's history and where they've come from and how disgusting their history is, and it is disgusting. If you consider how far they've come, you go and you bump into a white person today. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I mean, have I been at a restaurant and just got racist vibes? Absolutely. And I checked them on the spot. I checked them on the spot. You better ask about me, because I'm not afraid to check racism. I'm not standing for it at all. Period. But those few incidences are very, very rare, because the majority of the time I encounter pleasant white people experiences. Shout out to the white folks who have made a huge adjustment and blocked out their history and become better people overall. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get to the black folks, because I want to also shout out the black folks who've also made adjustments, because you know our history. It's not the best. It's not the best. And we got a lot of black people that's progressive, that's doing amazing things. But we already know what time it is. We know that we have, just like the white side, we got some bad seeds amongst the bunch that's making us all look bad. And I call those individuals the black KKK. If you want to know who the black KKK is, it is any black person who enjoys the murder of other black people. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Martin Luther King is rolling over in his grave, and I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but I believe we are disrespecting his legacy with the way that some of us are behaving. I watched a video 2 days ago where you had a guy with a bat creep up behind a woman, of all things, a black woman, and the black guy with the bat knocked her on the head and then walked off as if nothing happened. These are the kind of things that white men would do back in those 20s and 30s. We've become the enemy, and I'm not sure how it happened. We got black men, some women, selling poison to our own people. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But here's the problem. I get it. I understand. I get it. The jobs are not the best out here. The conditions are not the best out here. And unfortunately, black people have inherited an injustice. And unfortunately, white men, women, and the government haven't understood or don't understand just how much they owe the black community. They've put us in a situation by virtue of starving all the resources that has forced us to have to resort to these dire measures to support ourselves. And then when we resort to those measures, we get locked up. It's a sad and sadistic game. But I'm one of those individuals that say there is never an excuse. Don't ever make an excuse. I feel like once you get to the point in your life when you realize that a excuse does not exist, that's when you will elevate. That's when you will change. I don't care about the conditions. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, the home of crack and cocaine, the home of it. Some of the best hustlers on the planet live in Detroit, Michigan. I'm from there. But anyway, Black America is in a state of flux. Not only do we still have a couple bad apples on the white side causing all types of chaos, most of them wearing uniforms. However, black people, what in the world is going on? All we see, every time I turn on the internet and I go to a site, it's always trash, man. Oh my gosh, the black music, the rap music is disgusting. I mean, I was watching a video not long ago. I won't name the artist that I was watching, but this guy called up some women from the crowd to shake their behinds. I said, dude, this is why we can't make it, because our black women are already disrespected. But here we go, we got a black man in a power or a position of power calling beautiful black queens on the stage. And if that is not bad enough, you know what's worse than that? Those black queens who have no self-dignity get on the stage and shake their bottoms for the world to see. And this is why we can't progress. This is why we can't make it. This is why I am prepared to denounce being a black person. And I know they're going to try to cancel me for this 10 years later when I'm like a billionaire. But it's going to be like, I don't care. If I'm the same person I am today, I won't care, because I'm telling you the truth. This is something that needs to be said. Black people are in a state of flux. And unfortunately, it's not all of it. Well, I should say, thankfully, it's not all of us. But unfortunately, it's a lot of people. It's enough to get cameras to click on. And these cameras are not looking for individuals like you and I who are doing positive things. They're looking for the most ratchet of the most ratchet. And they're taking these videos and these clips and they're blasting them to millions of people. I'll tell you something funny that happened. I went to the courthouse a week and a half ago. However, I had no one to watch my daughter, so I had to bring her with me. I brought my daughter to the courthouse, and you will not believe how many people were surprised to see a black man with his child. I had so many people give me compliments and hold the door for me and try to hey man, you want me to help you carry her? I mean, it was ridiculous. It was crazy. I was honored, but at the same time, it showed me a very, very clear point that we don't see enough of it. You would have thought that people were looking at a 1-foot giraffe. It was like, oh my gosh, it's a black guy. They were doing math. I can see their brains churning out the math. Like, okay, we got a black guy, we got a baby, and they're together. Wow, how was this possible? It was almost like I was an equation or an algebraic problem that they couldn't solve. And it was just me being with my kid. It wasn't Caucasian, Europeans, white folks looking at me in surprise and shock. It was my own people. Black, African American, brown, whatever you want to call them. My own people in complete shock that it was a guy with his child in public. And I know why they felt that way, and I know why they looked at me that way. It's because there is not enough images of that. A lot of that is our issue, our problem. We need some creators. We need some guys, some women who design websites, who design television shows to make sure they're putting out positive black imagery. I want to take a few seconds to say I appreciate and I'm very, very thankful for Mrs. Dawn Knox Poydras, because she did an amazing thing for me. She put me in a middle school, and the name of that middle school was Malcolm X Academy. No, I did not become a Muslim, but what I did do is I gathered a lot of information about black excellence. A lot of public middle schools, high schools, elementary schools don't teach black excellence. You know what they teach? They teach black history. And a lot of times, all of black history is relegated to slavery. You have these young black boys and girls who are very impressionable, and the only thing they're being taught is bondage and beatings and whippings and lynches, and that's not all that there is when it comes to black history. So I'm very thankful for going to Malcolm X Academy, because one of their primary tenets was to ensure that these young black boys and girls learned about black heroes. We're talking about first grade. I knew who Madam C.J. Walker was. I went to Malcolm X from first grade to 8th grade. First grade, I knew who Madam C.J. Walker was. First grade, I knew who she was. First grade, I knew who Macy Jemison was, the first black astronaut, female astronaut. I knew who she was in the first grade. I knew who Harriet Tubman was long time ago. I knew who Nat Turner was a long time ago. I knew who Marcus Garvey was. I knew who Garrett Morgan was, Charles Drew was, Langston Hughes. I just named some names that a lot of people watching this who are black have no idea who they are. And you know why? Because they have not been taught black excellence. Because if you teach young black girls and boys black excellence, then they will aspire to be excellent. That's kind of how that goes. Frederick Douglass, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. These are people that your children, if you have black little boys and girls, in fact, I'll say all children should know these people. Just like black children should know about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and some of these white and European people who've done great things. That's white excellence on full display. The very first president. These are great examples of white excellence. We hear about them all the time. In fact, when you think about it, it appears that in these public schools, we learn about white excellence. And then when it comes to the black person's turn to learn about black excellence, it goes to bondage and slavery and oppression and lynching. And why is that? And there lies the issue, in my opinion. These black people, boys and girls growing up in this system, they don't really have a choice. They learn about drilling and killing before they learn about black excellence. And then they go out and repeat it and they try to emulate it because black people are the new KKK. Let's take a little break real quick. Check out my new track. This comes straight from Limits to Mercy. I hope you enjoy it. It's your main man, Rick the Don. I'll be right back.
Hey kids, I got a story for you. It's about a young man who grows up in the inner city of Detroit. And he has to navigate all the traps. It goes like this. Picture a scrawny kid in a math class. He struggles with algebra with his dumb aspirations to be greater than most, though never so dope. You can catch him in cheap clothes, like to play ball outside, but was last picked. On second thought, he was never picked. He played defense. Imaginary friends, he would rap to them walking home. He passed a group of girls who he thought looked quite grown. They were loudly cheering, trying to get his attention, but he was so afraid, didn't pay them attention. They waved him off, got mad, cursed them out as they left. He didn't fret them girls because mama was best. Fly soon, boy, cocoon. One day you'll fly, one day real soon. Stay safe, young boy, in your cocoon. Grow trees, fly, be. One day you'll grow way past the trees and be a beautiful butterfly, high as can be. Now picture that same kid from the math class. He's gotten older, peach fuzz and a few abs. He's changed his swag, often joking in a high school class. J's on his toes, he used those to attract the hoes in this throwback Michael Jordan jersey. The girls were always jocking, some of them called him Hershey, a chocolate thunder, a sexy chocolate, didn't matter. He started selling candy, only made his wallet fatter. It gets blurry thereafter, but I think he started smoking and began pushing crack. You can say that he was open. He learned lots of lessons, even almost went to jail, and kept a firearm cause he was scared as hell. Fly soon, boy, cocoon. One day you'll fly, one day real soon. Stay safe, young boy, in your cocoon. Grow trees, fly, be. One day you'll grow way past the trees and be a beautiful butterfly, high as can be. That same young man, this song's the hood. He understood the game, it all was, changed up his ways. A genius leaves the block, you bet he's on his way. If he didn't change his path, he'd be dead today. He packed all his things and went the college route. Like screw jail, all the honeys go the college route. He was right, he was seeing ladies left and right. What a sight, butterfly, spread your wings tonight. But anyway, off topic, he soared through college like a rocket do. Made his mama proud, he could feel her looking down. See, she died 2 years prior due to cancer that almost wrecked his world. He kneeled and prayed for answers and heard. Fly soon, boy, cocoon. One day you'll fly, one day real soon. Stay safe, young boy, in your cocoon. Grow, trees, fly, be. One day you'll grow way past the trees and be a beautiful butterfly, high as can be. Alright kids, that's the end of my story. I really hope you enjoyed it. You too can be somebody. And don't worry, that kid I was talking about, he went on to live happily ever after.
All right, I really hope you enjoyed that track. Let's go ahead and put a nice bow on this very heavy topic. Black people need change. The black community needs change. We're wiping each other out. And I said this in a video not long ago. Every time a black person kills a black person, we lose two people. We lose one to the prison cell and we lose the other one to the grave. It's like I said, self-genocide. That's what it is. And we can't continue to go in that direction because in doing so, pretty soon, it'd be like, oh, there's a black person. It'd be like so rare to find. It'd be like endangered species out here. Not only do we have a few bad apples in the police departments and wherever else, we have a lot of bad apples within the black community itself. It's like if you are a law-abiding citizen with the color brown as your skin jersey, where do you go for safety? You go to your right, you got a few bad apples on this side, still doing the exact same thing. You go to your left, you got your own kind trying to take you out and rob you and steal from you. The same atrocities that the KKK of old committed against the black community, we're doing to ourselves. Burning up our own house, shooting at our ops, shooting at babies. I've heard so many babies get shot. It's the saddest thing. I don't know how you can be a person that does that, watch the news, and just don't immediately just turn yourself in. I've heard so many babies get shot, some even fatally, by black people, by the way. And I know it was a black person. You can't tell me it wasn't. I heard a mother get shot. She had like 8 kids. She was on her porch and got killed. And I know a black person did it. I know it. That's a straight up 2021 black person crime. Kill a mother. The most cowardly thing you can possibly do. Kill a mother of 8. That's the most cowardly thing. And I guarantee you that person is still out and free. It was a black mother on her porch in the ghetto, in the hood. Because a lot of times, again, we don't hear about black excellence. We don't hear about Madam C.J. Walker. I mean, those stories need to be told to these young girls that's impressionable. I mean, all we got is slut rappers and singers. That's it. That's all we got. Shake it and twerk it and shake it and twerk it. BBLs, BBWs. That's all we got for our black little girls to aspire to be. That's it. Strippers and freaks. That's it. Come on, man. Like, we got to do better than that. And there's no knocking them because I like watching them and listening to them too. But the point is, my daughter won't even know they exist. My girls won't know about Madam C.J. Walker, Macy Jamison, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, like queens in the black community because of what they did in terms of sacrificing for their people. We lack that. A lot of people are so afraid of losing their possessions, they won't speak the truth. Black excellence. That's what's needed in the black community. If you know how to put it out there, then just do it like Nike say. And by the way, we have to stop celebrating the murdering of each other. It's crazy because a guy get killed, no names, a guy get killed, and for the first time ever, he'll get mass love from all the black community. It's almost like we celebrate death because when the guy was alive, nobody talks about him. You'll hear about him or her, but you won't hear about him or her like you would when they die. Terrible, sad, terrible, and sad. It's terrible, sad and terrible. You know, it's like we don't celebrate each other for achievements. While that man was alive, it was all hate. You ain't this, but you ain't do that. You ain't him. You ain't do it like that. You ain't do it like this. As soon as he died, he the greatest person on the planet. She the greatest person on the planet. Why is that? Why is it like that? My last point is, mothers and fathers, put our children in sports. That's cool. That's fine. But also teach them politics. Put them in positions to learn politics, to be politicians. Put them in positions to own businesses. Teach them business. I mean, it's cool that they can score 50 points in their little junior basketball league and they're the best running back on their football team. But don't let it just be entertainment, entertainment-based careers that you're setting your child up for. Set your child up to be the next president. To be, we need some police officers, right? If you see your kid has that in them, just give them that option. Hey, maybe you'll be a police officer. What about a judge, an attorney, a lawyer? How about you? Hey, go figure out how to make bread. Figure out what's the recipe for making plastic. Maybe you can be a distributor. Maybe you can be someone who supplies a good or a service. I mean, basketball and football is cool. I really appreciate the amazing achievements we've had from the sports community. But all of our people are either in the entertainment industry or the sports industry. That's cool. But we need cosmetics too. We need cosmetics. We need investors. I don't really see a lot of black investors. I just don't. This episode is important to me because I sorely want to see the black community thrive. And to be frank, I don't care about how the white male or woman perceives that point, because white people have to get to the point where they see our growth as a positive. Far too many white people are afraid of black excellence. And you shouldn't be, because black excellence is not black on white murder. Black excellence is not the decimation of white excellence. In fact, I believe, in my opinion, it'd be amazing if everybody was thriving. Every race, Asians, blacks, whites, Latinos, Arabs, was thriving as their best version of their race. Because in doing so, we would all be able to sharpen each other in terms of being excellent. Like, okay, you did that, we'll do this. And when you have excellent people competing, the level or the standard rises. But when it's just one group way up here and everybody else is here, down here, it's an imbalance. So that's what I mean when I say black excellence. We need to be just as good as our counterparts, because in doing so, we'll make them do better. And by them doing better, we'll have to do better. The condition that we're working in right now is disgusting. If I have anything to say about it, I will raise the standard for being a black man and woman in America. Not at the destruction of any other race, because quite frankly, that doesn't do anything for my cause. I want to be excellent because I want to be excellent. I don't care whether the next, and that's another thing. Let's not forget about that. Within the black community itself, as soon as we have a guy or woman thriving, what happens to them? They get killed, shot, robbed, because within the black community, we can't have somebody bigger than the system. We can't have somebody outgrowing us. We can't have nobody outshining us. What is that about? And to be frank, I used to be that kind of person. And I had to teach myself, like, wait a minute, that's some sucker stuff right there. That's a sucker's mentality. I don't have to fear what this person does or how good they are or how good they're not. I just got to step my game up. And if I step my game up, they'll start feeling the pressure. You got to be pressured. You got to be pressured. That's what it is. Don't be jealous. You got to be pressured. That's what it's about, man. Black excellence, man. And that's what we're missing in the black community, in my opinion. If this message offends anybody, so what? Don't care at all. Because nobody's offended when a black mother is killed on her porch and she got 8 kids. Nobody seems to be offended. Black Lives Matter, don't be offended. Nobody marching, nobody offended at all. Nobody's offended. So, the Really Hood Podcast, signing out.